Hello everyone and welcome to another episode. Today we are going to talk about Palestine, a territory that has been at the center of a long and complex conflict with Israel. But does Palestine have an ancient history like Israel? And what are the origins and identity of the Palestinian people? To answer these questions, we need to go back to the ancient times, when the land of Palestine was part of a larger region known as Canaan, which encompassed modern-day Israel, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and parts of Egypt. Canaan was inhabited by various peoples and cultures, such as the Phoenicians, the Philistines, the Amorites, the Edomites, the Moabites, and the Israelites. The term Palestine itself derives from the word Philistine, a seafaring people who settled on the southern coast of Canaan around the 12th century BC. The Philistines were one of the main enemies of the ancient Israelites, who emerged as a tribal confederation in the central highlands of Canaan around the same time. The first mention of the word Israel comes from an Egyptian inscription that dates to about 1202 BC, which records a military campaign against various Canaanite kingdoms and tribes, including Israel. According to modern archaeology, ancient Israelite culture developed as an outgrowth from the Semitic Canaanites. Two related Israelite polities known as the Kingdom of Israel, Samaria, and the Kingdom of Judah had emerged in the region by Iron Age II. According to the Hebrew Bible, a united monarchy, consisting of Israel and Judah, existed as early as the 11th century BC, under the reigns of Saul, David, and Solomon. But this is disputed by many scholars. The Kingdom of Israel was destroyed around 720 BC, when it was conquered by the Neo-Assyrian Empire. The Kingdom of Judah remained intact until 586 BC, when it was destroyed by the Neo-Babylonian Empire. The destruction of both kingdoms resulted in the exile of many Israelites to Mesopotamia and Egypt. Some of them returned to their homeland after the Persian conquest of Babylon in 539 BC, while others assimilated into their host cultures or migrated to other regions. The Persian period, 538 to 333 BC, was followed by the Hellenistic period, 333 to 164 BC, when Palestine was ruled by various Greek dynasties after Alexander the Great's conquest. The Hellenistic period witnessed a cultural clash between the Greek and Jewish civilizations, which led to several revolts by some Jewish groups against their foreign rulers. The most successful revolt was led by the Maccabees, who established an independent Jewish state known as the Hasmonean dynasty, 164 to 37 BC. The Hasmonean dynasty was eventually conquered by the Roman Empire, which divided Palestine into several provinces and client kingdoms. The most famous of these was the Herodian dynasty, 37 BC 6 CE, founded by Herod the Great, who is known for his massive building projects and his role in the biblical story of Jesus' birth. The Roman period also saw the rise of Christianity as a new religious movement within Judaism, which later spread throughout the Roman world and beyond. The Roman rule over Palestine was challenged by several Jewish revolts, especially in 66 to 70 CE and 132 to 135 CE. The first revolt resulted in the destruction of Jerusalem and its temple by the Roman army led by Titus. The second revolt was led by Simon Bar Kokhba, who claimed to be the Messiah and established a short-lived Jewish state. However, both revolts were brutally suppressed by the Romans, who renamed Palestine as Syria Palestina and banned Jews from entering Jerusalem. After the Roman Empire split into two parts in 395 CE, Palestine became part of the Byzantine Empire, the eastern part, which maintained its Christian character and culture. Palestine was also affected by the rise of Islam in Arabia in the 7th century CE, which led to its conquest by Muslim armies in 638 CE. Palestine then became part of various Muslim states and dynasties, such as the Umayyads, Abbasids, Fatimids, Seljuks, Crusaders, Ayyubids, Mamluks, Ottomans, and Egyptians. During these centuries, Palestine witnessed many changes in its population, economy, society, religion, and culture. It also became a holy land for all three Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Many holy sites and monuments were built, preserved, or contested by different religious communities and rulers. Palestine also became a destination for pilgrims, travelers, merchants, and migrants from different regions and backgrounds. The modern history of Palestine begins with the end of the Ottoman rule in 1917, when Palestine was occupied by British forces during World War I. The British Mandate of Palestine, 1920 to 1948, was established by the League of Nations with the aim of creating a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, as stated in the Balfour Declaration of 1917. This policy provoked opposition and resistance from the Arab majority in Palestine, who also sought self-determination and independence. The British Mandate period saw a massive influx of Jewish immigrants to Palestine, mainly from Europe, who established settlements, institutions, and organizations that laid the foundations for the future state of Israel. The Arab population also increased and developed its own national identity and movement, which expressed itself in various forms of political and social activism. The conflict between the two sides escalated into violence and terrorism, which the British authorities failed to contain or resolve. In 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan that would divide Palestine into two states, one Jewish and one Arab, with Jerusalem as an international city. The plan was accepted by the Jewish leadership but rejected by the Arab side. The British withdrew from Palestine in 1948, leaving behind a power vacuum and a civil war. On May 14, 1948, the State of Israel was declared, sparking the First Arab-Israeli War. The war resulted in the establishment of Israel on most of the territory of Palestine, while the rest was occupied by Egypt, Gaza Strip, and Jordan, West Bank. The war also created a massive refugee problem, as hundreds of thousands of Palestinians fled or were expelled from their homes in what they call al-Nakba, the catastrophe. Most of them ended up in neighboring Arab countries or in refugee camps in Gaza and the West Bank. The fate of these refugees and their descendants remains one of the core issues of the conflict. Since 1948, the conflict has continued in various forms and stages, involving wars, intifadas, uprisings, negotiations, agreements, and failures. The main actors have been Israel and the Palestinians, represented by different organizations and factions, such as the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, Fatah, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and others. The conflict has also involved other regional and international players, such as Egypt, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the United States, Russia, the European Union, and the United Nations. The main issues that divide the two sides are the status of Jerusalem, the borders and security of Israel and Palestine, the Israeli settlements in the occupied territories, the Palestinian right of return, and the recognition and coexistence of both states. Several attempts have been made to resolve these issues through diplomatic means, such as the Camp David Accords, 1978, the Oslo Accords, 1993 to 1995, the Camp David Summit, 2000, the Roadmap for Peace, 2003, and the Arab Peace Initiative, 2002. However, none of these initiatives have succeeded in achieving a comprehensive and lasting peace agreement. The current situation is characterized by a stalemate and a status quo that is unsustainable and unstable. The prospects for a two-state solution are fading away due to political deadlock, mutual distrust, violence, extremism, unilateral actions, and external interference. The alternative scenarios are either a one-state solution that would end Israel's Jewish character or a perpetual conflict that would endanger both peoples and the entire region. The question remains, is there still hope for peace between Israel and Palestine? And what can be done to achieve it? These are some of the questions that we will explore in our next episodes of Beyond Borders. Stay tuned for more insights and analysis on this complex and fascinating topic. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos on history and culture around the world. And don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts and questions.